final Smite 1 top 3 gods for each role video. I say it's final because Smite 2 comes out in 16 days and there's no point on doing guides in Smite 1. The player base is just going to fall down to 0 over the course of the next like 4 to 5 months. So that's what we're gonna do. Top 3 each role. I can go over builds if you want. That's not a problem. But yeah, let's just get into this. So my number 1 hunter, I don't care about working backwards. We'll do number 1, 2, 3. Medusa is still number 1 to me. Ability based. You do not go auto attack on this god. If you do, you're trolling. Also, you do not build redstone. Corrupted bluestone, the redstone is bad for damage dealers. This is very good for tanks, very bad for damage dealers. You go bluestone brooch. I like Jotuns first because you don't really have mana issues early on Medusa like you do some other gods. I go Transcendence. And then you need to get your pen online. I do know a lot of people love their fail not, so you can go fail not. It's really up to you. I prefer going into a Crusher. Usually you have a lead, so Crusher goes hard. Then I prefer to go into the Titan's Bane. And then if you're really feeling it, you go Duality. This build will one-shot off of a dash. It is very, very strong. This isn't the only build you can go. You can go another pen item here. It's ideal for most people, to be honest. You could go a bunch of different items. It's completely up to you. That's the build I go, though. Do like it a lot. So Medusa, number 1. My number 2 is Charybdis. Charybdis, you're basically going AA builds. And Charybdis is good because she's super safe. She has very high pressure because she clears the full wave pretty much instantly. And then her late game is kind of cracked. She has a CC immune ult with movement speed, so that's a good escape item or escape ability. The 3 is the best hunter escape ability in the game. It counters everything. You can go under walls. I think I'm remembering correctly. You go under walls. It's really nuts. So Destol, I like Embrace. Temper is good if you're calculating and playing around the stacks on Temper. You're then going lifesteal. A lot of people are building Crimson Claws right now. I don't like Crimson Claws. I go Aussie. I hate it. I think Aussie is just a better item. And then, like I said, you're going in auto attack builds. You don't really want to go into crit on Charybdis. It's not terrible, just not what you're looking for. Going Kins, you're going Oboe, and then I go Silver Branch. You can swap these 2 items around. With Charybdis's passive, you should be well over cap attack speed, especially with purple buff. If something's happening that's causing you not to, you can go Temper here, but you should not need to go Temper here. Surely you go your pen build, no pen crypt build, no. So here's my Charybdis build. That's number 2 on the list. Number 3, I think you can make a lot of arguments. I think Chernobog is very good. I think Ho Yi had a huge buff, so he's very good. I think On Her is very good. I think Artemis is probably what you'll see the most of right now, and its ability Artemis. Build is a little bit different because you don't really play around duality than the Medusa build I showed you. And mana is a super big issue for this god. So you're going Blue Sun again. I think going Transcendence first is just better. I realize stacking Transcendence mathematically, usually going at 2nd or 3rd, makes more sense because you stack really quick at those points in the game. But you need the mana or you're going to just take fat L's. So here's this. You usually will go into that fail not to get the rest of your cooldown. And then you're just picking up pen. Your last 2 pen items. So you're grabbing Crusher and you're grabbing Titan's Bane. So there's your top 3 hunters. 2 ability hunters, 1 AA hunter. GG, no re. Oh, I forgot Heartseeker in that build. That's my bad. Heartseeker in that build, I messed that up. Not Crusher. I don't know why I put that in there. Heartseeker, or you go no fail not. You can run around with 30% cooldown because it's actually 32 with the Shaman Totem. And you can put the Heartseeker in there as well and have Crusher. It depends on the playstyle. Just go for pen items on Art. And on Medusa, I think Heartseeker is dope, but I like the duality build. It's kind of cracked. Anyway, back to mid. They nerfed Chunga, where I still think she's really good, but she's not as OP. I think pressure in mid lane, and they also nerfed HL, who was the other like top mid, in my opinion, where they're both still very good, but they were completely broken before. Now you're looking at pressure and clear and playing safe most of the time, which not every god has that potential. I do still think Chunga is probably the best mid. She's still one shots. She's still completely cracked. She's not hard to play. You pretty much play her like an assassin. I also believe that Archmages is better on every mage that doesn't need the movement speed. Chunga gets value out of the movement speed to be one of those gods where you go either or. And you also spam on Chunga, so Archmages becomes a little bit less valuable, but Archmage is just crazy power. It is insane power. I don't know, like, where... I get that this gives you way more damage increase, like it's giving you the 50% damage increase, but this is... it's almost double the power, bro. It's 50 more power. It's a crazy item. So we're going that. And then you always want double flapping on mages right now. Most of the time... I went in the wrong order. That's my bad. Most of the time... you're going to go Doom Orb, and you're going to go Spear of Deso. Now, here's the kicker. If they have healing and you need anti-heal, you do not go Doom Orb. You usually go Spear of Deso here, and you would build your Divine here. So you would flip-flop the two. So this would be Spear of Deso, and you wouldn't build the Doom Orb. You can still build it if you think it's a must for you. I don't think it is. Being speedy is valuable, but anti-heal if they have healing is way more important. And then you're going into your Staff of Mirrodin. Any god that gets value out of this is a must build. Then you're going into your Ratatouille or your Pen. If they're super tanky and you're not getting the kills you need, you can go into your Pen in this slot, which is likely a Charon's coin. These two can be flipped, by the way, if you're feeling like it's necessary. It is really just the feel of the game. You'll get used to, this, Charon's coin might be better here. They're really tanky. I'm behind, whatever. Or I'm ahead. I want the Mirrodin. And then last item's gonna be a Rod. This build will cook and go crazy. If they're not tanky at all, they're picking assassin solos, mage solos, where you don't need all of this pen, you then can go triple flat pen. So if that was the case, I would drop Charon's coin from the build, and I would go triple flat pen into the staff. So like this game, I would go into the Divine. Divine's an OP item. It's anti-heal, but its procs and its stats are cracked. And then I would just go into my staff and rod here. This way you have a ton of flat pen, you kill squishies faster, and then you still have 20% pen. If someone ends up being tanky, the support's a problem, you can always pick up the yellow shaman totem, which gives you more flat pen and percent pen. You have a lot of options as a mage. Not a lot of options. You have some decisions to make as a mage. Same item options, but decisions to make. My 2 slot is Raijin. I think Raijin is number 2 because of pressure. Raijin can pretty much full clear the wave at level 2. On Raijin, this is another case of you could go either or. Completely up to you. I think I'm running Archmages all day, and it's the same build. Nothing really changes. I don't think you go Doom Orb, though. That needs to be noted. I wouldn't really build Doom Orb. I think I'd just go Divine every game. Every game there will be some type of healing. So Divine is always valuable, but sometimes Divine is a must. It's not always a must, but it is always valuable, if that makes sense. You're not more than likely going into the... I don't think Staff of Mirrodin procs on Raijin's ult at the beginning. I'm not 100%. Someone in chat might be able to confirm. So I don't think it does. And since I don't think it does, I would go Charon's coin. I would go... Does Mirrodin proc on Raijin's ult right when you start casting, or does it not proc until you finish the ult? After? Okay, so yeah, you're not going to build that. Your build's going to look something more like this, ideally. Now, before we finish mages, I found out that buffed Bancroft's Claw, which is the upgrade, the tier 4, is pretty broken right now. So it is possible to run lifesteal builds that are just better than these builds. I'm just gonna be real with you. Like on Raijin, I might be looking at a build that looks like this. So like that build right there is solid. It's been consistent the whole time. I might look at my build changing to this. This is gonna give you your 30% pen still, but this proc that you're getting from Bancroft's Claw is doing 400 to like 600-700 damage to squishies and a little bit more to tanks. The Bancroft's Claw item, every time you cast an ability, if somebody is within 30 units, it uses one of your 3 charges. Each charge, if you have over 750 power, is doing 10% of their max health every time. Like without even trying, you will do 30% of their max health in a normal fight, essentially. So it's like, someone was like, it's like Soul Reaver. It's not really the same as Soul Reaver, because Soul Reaver, you go to kill tanks only. Bancroft's Claw is a very high power item, and you're going to kill squishies, you're going to kill everybody. You don't care about tanks. The one thing with Bancroft's Claw, someone mentioned earlier, is if you're playing a mage that plays max range like Thoth, you probably aren't going to go it. But anyone else who's jumping on people, you're going it. I ran it all night last night. I ran it on Ao Kuang. I ran it on... Who was I playing with the first game that happened on? I don't know. I realized it on some other god. I don't remember. But yeah, this will probably be a build I look at swapping to. The problem with this is it's low. You don't have a lot of cooldown, which is where certain gods might have issues. You can change up the whole build. It'd be super crazy. I think the game I went into a soul gem in that game, so you could go even crazier. The thing with Typhons as well, if you don't understand how it works, it's, hold on, let me get the exact number because I always forget the exact number on Typhons. It's your magic power gets multiplied by 1.5. So take your magic power, multiply by 1.5, and you get that much more. Or sorry, take your life steal, your magic life steal, multiply it by 1.5, you get more power. You get that much more power. So like a Bancroft's Claw has 15% life steal, and then when you get the proc, you can get 15% more. So this item can give you 45 extra power, you know, between the passive life steal plus the proc. If you go, you have Typhons has life steal on it, so that's giving you what, like 22 more power, so that item actually has like 77 power on it. And if you have Soul Gem, this has 12% life steal, so you're getting that much more. You're getting 18. It ends up stacking up really quick when you have multiple life steal items, so this would be another option in terms of a build that you can go on a Godlike Regin. So that was number 2. Number 3, I don't think it's clear cut. I really don't feel like the third mage is clear cut. It will depend on your skill on gods, the matchups you have, and really just how the match plays out for you. Like for me personally, I'd probably put Scylla at number 3. I think Thoth could fill that role. I think on some players Janice could be that role. I think Nuwa got buffed. Nuwa could be that role. You more than likely are looking for mobile mages in that, if you're looking for a third mage to be playing, and mobile mages that have either CC or crazy amounts of damage to pump out. Agni, you could argue for a third slot. I'd probably put Agni at like a 5th slot. I think if I was gonna make a top 3 or a top 5, I would have Scylla in it. I'd probably put Thoth at 4 or 5, and then maybe Agni 4 or 5, more than likely. Hugh Wong is really good, but I also feel like he has a lot of trouble in a lot of team fights. He relies heavily on his ult, and if people are used to playing against him and they're aegis that ult, I feel like he kind of just gets run at. No Zhong mid. I wouldn't put Zhong in top. No. Nuwa, I wouldn't put top 2. 3, 4, 5, maybe. But she also is very easy to run at, so you have to play correctly. So there's mages for me. Guardians. Should I do guardians or should I do supports? I think I should do roll. I think we're doing roll. So the number 1 support is Horus. I ban it every game, so I never play against it. Why is he number 1? Even though they nerfed it, his 2 is still broken. You take 25 prots off of a target. So essentially, without having to be in comms, you can say, hey team, I just stunned this guy. I'm also going to knock him up, and he takes a ton of damage, so he's going to die. He is very safe because of his mobility, same shit. He just has very good single target CC. In a meta where people die fast, even tanks, especially when being shredded, a god like Horus is kind of unstoppable. He also has a very good laning phase. So he is my main support, and build wise, you're just kind of doing what everyone's doing right now. Where is you're on War Flag? War Flag is an option. You can go either or. If you're able to land a CC and fight around where you're fighting, you're going Spartan Flag. I think it's really good. If you're not, you're going War Banner. Your choice. Everyone's going Cannoneers because it's super cheap, 1850 gold. This gives your person near you more gold every 7 seconds. So this item, you don't need to sit in the same lane all the time, but you need to make sure someone's around you when you're hitting your stuff. Then you pick and choose how your game is going to play out. On a guy like Horus, you have really long cooldowns, so you're going to end up wanting cooldown. If you're using your ult a lot, Pridwin's not bad, but I think Pridwin overlaps with the shield, so it's not ideal for you. So your cooldown is usually going to come from more selfish items most of the time. Like a breastplate here would be very good. At this point, you're probably going to want some magic defense. You can choose what your team needs in a slot like this. So if they have a lot of magic, Heart Ward becomes valuable. If they don't have a lot of magic, then you get to go more selfish. You can go Pestilence if they have anti-heal. You can just go straight into like a Genji's and get some crazy amount of cooldown. You can go into the Onis to be unkillable. 100% how you want to play the game out. But I tend to tailor more towards the selfish items when I'm playing support, because your team will be able to do whatever it wants. Horus is by far top 3. You're bad at the game, don't talk. So that's where we're at. Then because you're looking for single target kills, you are going to get stun binding all day. It's going to give you even more pen on top of your 2 giving pen, so that person you're killing is going to take true damage most of the time. Last item becomes whatever you want. it becomes 100% whatever you want. There's no must build item. If they have a ton of physical, you can buy more physical. If they have a ton of magical, you can buy more magical. If you are not dying and they aren't even going on you, you could go an item like Brawler's Beat Stick. 100% up to you. With most Guardians, you're picking up 1 damage item, so it's fine. So there we go. Horus is the #1 support. Then for Guardians, it's Bacchus for #2 and Ares for #3. And the builds are pretty much the same. You're gonna go very similar stuff on Bacchus. You play aggressively, all the same. You pop somebody up. You do a lot of damage. On Bacchus, getting a damage item earlier becomes more valuable. So that last slot, that Divine, you put a Divine in it and you put it up earlier. And then for Ares, you just want a bunch of auras. Ares is gonna play a little bit different. Ares gets power off of auras if you didn't know, so you're gonna play heavily off of auras. I think you still go War Flag because that movement speed becomes pretty cracked. Spartan Flag becomes valuable because you're pulling everybody in still, and you're gonna have main targets for everyone to hit right in a small area. And then you want auras. You want your Thebes. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I can never find Thebes. Why can I never find Thebes? Is it? Wait, is it not even show here? There it is. All right, so you want Thebes, and then you can just go down to the aura area and just pick and choose. You can pick and choose whatever your team needs. Prophetic is really good for you. If they have magic, Void Tomorrow becomes good for you. If you're looking for a damage item, Curse Weaver becomes good for you. Yeah, you just have options. You can go whatever, whenever, wherever. Nothing really bad in those slots. No Kumba. I don't think Kumba is top 3. I really don't. I think aggression is more valuable than the defensive nature of Kumba. So going into, hey, I'm gonna run at you gods, just does better consistently. If you get an early lead, an item like Mystical Mail in an earlier slot could be valuable, but usually not something you're gonna go. Last item, just up to you. Mystical Mail is good, but it's really only gets most of its value if it's built first, maybe second if your team is going crazy, and I just don't think that's gonna happen consistently. I really don't. You just have a lot of other options, so there's no point. This item doesn't have to be an aura item. This item could be a damage item. It can be whatever you want. Kumba can be aggressive, I feel like. Kumba's aggression relies on your teammate, where Ares and Bacchus' aggression doesn't. Ares and Bacchus can both solo people very easily. So there's my top 3 supports. Solo laners. I also think solo laners just fucking weird, bro. I'm not a huge fan of saying like this is the best solo lane right now. I think if you want 3 warriors, you're looking at like Cullen, Wukong, and King Arthur, arguable on the order. Most of the other ones are playable, but are they top? Probably not. And then you're also looking at Cthulhu, not Surtur. Cthulhu for solo lane. I don't think Mulan is top solo laner. I've never thought Mulan was top solo laner. I think it's overhyped. I'd probably put Cthulhu up there in like the top slots. What I saw most solo laners were building was Gem of Focus, or they're not really going Archmages. They're going Gem of Focus, and then they're just going tanky. If they're against Fizz, they're going Breastplate. Why do I keep skipping over items? There we go. They're going Breastplate. You're seeing a lot of Curse Weaver in this slot, and then you're just seeing items that people need. That, you know, if they have magic damage you're worried about, you're going in one of the magic defense items. You can go Void if you want to do more damage, whatever you want. Grab any of these, really. It's kind of, you know, up to you. I think Abyssal Stone might be busted and not really built every game. I think Abyssal Stone might be kind of cracked. But yeah, your final slots for solo lane, your other items do change every game. You also see some Spirit Robes built, or not Spirit Robes. What did I say? Spirit Robes. Shifter Shields. I don't know why I said Spirit Robes. You see Shifter Shields built in that 3rd slot a lot. I've seen Shield of Phoenix still being built. I've seen Glad Shields being built. Like, you're seeing a mix of everything, because with just these core items, then you're set. You're set to do whatever the fuck you need. And then you can go into whatever you want. So as long as you're looking around, I say any item, but I mean like any of the good tanky solo lane items is what you're looking at for these final slots. If you're getting burned by, like, if you, like an example, you're getting burned by hunters that have crit, or a team has more than 1 crit, you can go Spectral, right? If you're getting burned by AA hunters and that's the only thing that's killing you, then you can go into the Midgard. These slots become way more tailored towards what you're playing against. Abyssal is very good. I think Abyssal is super underrated. Obviously, if the team isn't a casting team, Abyssal doesn't have as much value, but it's still very good. So Cthulhu is what I'd put there. And then you go into your warriors. Hi, Callie. What do you want? You go to your warriors. Warriors are basic. The one difference is Wukong isn't being built full tank anymore, or sorry, full damage anymore. He's back to being a really good tank. Bluestone into all of your normal tank items. Breastplates are good. Your Shield of the Phoenixes are good. I do still see some people try to go Soul Eater. I feel like you just go defense on every warrior and you're unstoppable with the changes. The one difference between Cthulhu and a lot of the warriors is Archdruids become super valuable in that like 4th, 5th, 6th slot. That item is, even after the nerfs, is still really, really good. If I was gonna go build just a generic build, probably wouldn't go Son of Binding there, but we're just gonna throw it in. Cooldown, if you're against physical, breastplate. If you're against magical, go Genjis. You could go, I don't know, whatever you want. You really want cooldown though. That's the big thing. You're looking for cooldown. You want to be able to spam. If you can't spam, you probably lose, and that's a bad thing. You don't want to lose. Glad Shield or Shield of the Phoenix. I don't know about the nerfs to the Shield of the Phoenix being that relevant. Glad Shield is still good. It kind of made a slight comeback out of, I won't say nowhere, but just kind of made a crazy comeback. So a build like this would be really good. Not that hard. Solo lane's not that crazy. It's about learning your laning phase and then rotating in and targeting backline. King Arthur, similar builds. Not that much different. Who didn't we do? Did we do? Oh, assassins. Assassins are stupid right now, man, because we're just doing full circle with assassins. Raveno's the #1 assassin. He has no bad matchups because people die so fast. One rotation of abilities kills again, where pre the revert he couldn't really 100 to 0 somebody, and that was, I'd say, his issue was he wasn't doing as well because he had to go through his rotation of abilities like 4 times. If I'm going into one of 2 builds, whereas we're going Aaron Diet, somewhere in this build 100%. So if I am kind of running at them and I'm not dealing with tanks, if I'm not dealing with tanks, I'm going into Aaron Diet and then I'm getting my pen items. Your pen items are all very consistent. It's Serrated, it's Heartseeker, it's Crusher if you want it, it's Bloodforge if you're trying to sustain life and you don't really need the pen. You've got options there as usual. Where is my Heartseeker? So Heartseeker here. A lot of the games, if I'm one-tapping somebody and then running around the fight, this is my build. You have 30% pen, you have full cooldown. So I'm running yellow Shaman Totem with this build. Erendite is always swappable, as I mentioned. If I'm not really dealing with tanks, I'm probably going the Erendite every game. If tanks become a problem and I can't really settle their backline, I'm going Soul Eater for more sustain. Hello, Schmep. But yeah, I think this build is the go-to build if you don't want to use your brain and you just want to run somebody down. You kill everybody. Save your 2 for immuning CCs or not taking major abilities like Krakens or Kolkanalts. Yeah, this build will crack. They'll just pop off. Ravana might be one of only 2 gods that use Erendite as well. It's really just Ravana and Nem that are up there. So Ravana's my #1. I already know people are gonna. I had somebody who was talking about, I think, Camazotz. They thought, I don't think Camazotz is good. I don't even think you put Camazotz in my top 5. I do think the level of play you're at might change the gods you want to play. Sub Diamond, Arachne probably wins you 90% of your games. The more I play the game, the more I think Lancelot is cracked. Like very, 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 very good. Maybe rivals 1, 2. I don't know. It depends on the game. So for me, I have Susano at #2. This dude's trolling. I didn't even know he queued. Susano at #2. Same builds, different day. Literally the same builds. You're going Hydras because you're auto attack canceling. You're going into your pen items. You're Serrated. Serrated's almost always going to be picked up in the 3rd slot. You want your Heartseeker at this point. And then your last item is, once again, your choice. You already have full pen. You have full cooldown. Last item is up to you. Bloodforge is very good. If they have hard CCs that you're worried about, then you can build a Magi's on most assassins, and it won't really hurt you in killing people. But yeah, this is pretty much the go-to. Bloodforge is doing really well in these metas. So Susano #2. And then my #3 is Lancelot. I hate this god, but the more that I play the game and the more that I play him, I'm starting to not hate him, and he is doing very, very good. His build's the exact same. He wants Hydras 99% of the time. He can go Soul Eater in the Hydra slot, but he wants Hydras 99% of the time, and you're going the exact same build that you would go on Susano. I don't know if all the builds are on Smite Source. I know a mix of them are on Smite Source for sure. I actually can have somebody go in and put these builds up now. So those will go up right away, and we'll try to have just like a flat build as we go into Smite 2. So if any of you want, if it becomes like a request, I could set up another website for the Smite 1 builds to stay live on, or just add them as like a fucking second factor on the website for Smite 1. So yeah, there is our top 3 gods every roll with some builds.